In Zootopia, you can be anything! Unless you're a fox, in which case we know you're up to no good. I didn't mean that. You're not like one of those foxes, are you? My name is Rebecca Rose. I'm an actor, a voice actor, and a student of storytelling. And here on this channel, we appreciate and create stories. Today, we're talking about Zootopia and implicit bias. Officer Judy Hopps is the first bunny cop in Zootopia, an anthropomorphic city where animals have evolved out of their savage ways to live in harmony. She teams up with Nick Wilde, a cynical con artist fox, to uncover a conspiracy. Implicit bias is an unconscious favoritism towards or a prejudice against any kind of social group, cultural, ethnic, gender, and that influences your behavior many times without you realizing it. The difficulty with pointing out implicit bias is that it can come with the best intentions. Sometimes people who are showing implicit bias are totally well-meaning and may not even realize that what they're saying is harmful in nature or hurtful to you. And Zootopia does a really nice job of unveiling implicit bias in a way that helps us to address it without feeling attacked for the implicit biases that we ourselves might carry. So let's go ahead and start and meet our protagonist, Judy Hopps.
Give me your tickets right now. I'm gonna kick your meek little sheep.
So Judy is from a small country town where all the bunnies live.
Do cry.
Hey! You heard her. Cut it out.
And she dreams of being a cop.
What crazy world are you living in where you think a bunny could be a cop? I want you to remember this moment the next time you think you will ever be anything more than just a stupid carrot farming dumb bunny.
Aww. This is the incident that causes Judy to start carrying these subconscious fears. It's something that genuinely happened to her. She had an encounter with a fox. She grew up already believing that foxes, who fall under the predator category, are inherently dangerous in their biology. And we know this because she hears this from her parents all the time.
I've been working for this my whole life.
So now she's finally trained to become a cop and she's going off to Zootopia.
Terrified. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
And also bears. We have bears to fear too. Weasels.
You play cribbage with a weasel?
You play cribbage with a weasel. Even her parents, they are very openly racist in this.
Foxes are the worst.
Actually, your father does have a point there. It's in their biology.
This is a very nice ping-pong conversation between Judy, who considers herself very enlightened and very forward-thinking. She's not outright prejudiced towards foxes or predators. Her parents, on the other hand, are. They may seem very sweet and well-meaning, and they care only about her safety, but they also carry these prejudices themselves, and they say it very openly. Judy has done her work, clearly, and she states very forward-thinking things like,
when I was 9, Gideon Gray was a jerk who happened to be a fox.
And yet, she still chooses to take the fox repellent because somewhere inside her, subconsciously, there is still a fear against foxes. Judy's so great. What a colorful, beautiful city. The animators did a really wonderful job of creating it. But anyway, Judy, she has become a cop, but the police chief looks down on her because she's a little bunny. She's intent on proving them wrong.
201.
Hey, watch where you're going, Fox.
So now we've met Nick Wilde. Now, if you've seen this movie, you already know who the villain is. By the way, spoilers. It's probably a little bit late, but spoilers. And I noticed on a second or even third watch, who was driving that car, who almost hit Nick, was the sheep, who's part of the whole conspiracy. And he was just, watch where you're going, Fox. So he was the one who was actually causing the infraction. He was the one who was gonna hit Nick, who's literally is doing nothing. He's just walking around, like he's not doing anything suspicious. The sheep was in the wrong. But Judy, she could not overcome her bias against Nick. Her implicit bias, which is, oh, there's a fox. He must be up to no good. And completely overlooking the one who was actually causing the problem here. So she goes after him into the shop, where he is actually pulling a con. Nick. So we've seen up to this point that she's a stickler for the rules. Judy is there to uphold the law, no matter the cost. Yet when she sees Nick, she jaywalks. It's like she has to follow all of the rules, except in this case, where she's trusting her bias instead.
I just want to say you're a great dad and just a real articulate fella.
Ah, well, that is high praise. It's rare that I find someone so non-patronizing.
Judy has a very idealistic view of Zootopia.
This is Zootopia. Anyone can be anything.
This world, anyone can be anything. There is nothing that is stopping us from achieving what we want to achieve in this place. I think there's sort of that idealistic attitude in our real world, the ideal that everybody is equal and everybody has a chance to achieve whatever they want to achieve. Then you've already put blinders up on yourself, on the biases that exist all around us. If you have those blinders up to those biases and you refuse to accept them in the first place, there's no way that we can dismantle prejudices and move forward. Judy is kind of living in that blind spot right here. She says anyone can be anything. And yet she's using statements to Nick like,
You're a great dad and just a real articulate fella.
so, she's using this kind of stereotype that may sound positive at first, but in reality, it's actually a very backward way of thinking. Now, it's funny with Nick, he is actually being a con artist here. But that's what Zootopia does a great job with, dismantling that. At first glance, you're like, yeah, you know what? He is a sly fox. Yeah, he is a cunning con artist. But as we see later, sometimes people step into those shoes of a particular stereotype because they feel like they have no other choice, because that's how the world views you. So what's the point of fighting it otherwise?
You gave her a clown vest and a 3-wheeled joke-mobile in 2 days to solve a case you guys haven't cracked in 2 weeks?
I love the way that they have the animals all at different
None of you guys were
heights
gonna help her.
and
Who are you?
shapes.
Here's the thing, Chief. You gave her the 48 hours, so technically we still have 10 left to find our Mr. Otterton.
Is Nick objectively cute? Yes. Yes, he is. He's also quite smart. It's not made into a big deal, but Nick really starts to show his true colors in a very natural way. There's none of this, like, struggle against his natural nature, which is to be sly and cunning, and he has to fight that in order to help Judy for the greater good. There's none of that. Judy just lays out this potential for him. Hey, I need your help. We got to solve this case. Wow, that was so smart of you, and she builds up these natural relationship between them. And he just rises to the occasion. In reality, that's what Nick has always been. Another great thing about Nick, which we see when they interact with all of the other animals in different social settings, he actually never looks down on anybody else. When it comes to the nudist colony, he's just like, yeah, everyone here is a nudist. When it comes to the slow sloths, he's totally patient and waiting to hear what Flash has to say.
D.
03.
0.
3.
It is played off as kind of a joke, but by nature, Nick is quite respectful. And we also see here with Bogo, he's also quite a good lawyer. He's able to stand up, lay down the facts, tick, 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 tick. All right, this is the conclusion, and let's move on. And he also does it in a very calm manner.
I, Nicholas Wilde,
Aw,
promise to
Nick.
be brave, loyal, helpful, and trustworthy.
Even though you're a fox.
That's so sad. And the other kids here, they're prey. They're not predators. And yet they themselves can be incredibly savage.
Ever trust a fox without a muzzle? You're even dumber than you look.
If the world's only gonna see a fox as shifty and untrustworthy, there's no point in trying to be anything else.
What happened to Nick happened to him as a kid in a one circumstance with just one circle of kids. But it played such a significant part on his psyche that he continued to just, okay, fine, that's how you view me, that's what I'm gonna become. Similar with Judy. She only encountered Gideon. From what we can see, it was just one fox, and it's been mentioned multiple times, oh, your experience with Gideon. Yet that one experience with one fox was just enough still to plant that subconscious bias in her mind. Their experiences are rooted in real things that happened to them as children. But just because one individual behaves in that stereotypical manner, it's still not right to attribute that stereotype with the whole group.
Thousands of years ago, predators survived through their aggressive
Look at all
hunting instincts.
On the microphones, you can
For
see
whatever
each of their
reason,
logos.
They seem to be reverting back to their primitive savage ways.
Judy's prejudice is subtle. She's not out, attacking foxes, but she still carries this bias, and now it has been put out in this position of authority. Public opinion can be swayed by fear. We know that to be true. A lot of governments and people who have tried to take power use fear as their point. They use fear to make the public behave a certain way. They're playing on top of those implicit biases. that people may carry, and they put it out in the public as if it's fact and true, and then people latch onto it because they will not do the hard work of looking internally and deciding, is this true or not? Is this a fear or is this reality? Is this a bias and prejudice I carry, or is this fact? Coming back to Nick when he confronts her after this, like before, Nick handles it pretty calmly. He states it very directly, like, this is wrong. How could you have said this? And I think Nick has every right to be extremely angry. Judy is probably the first person who has emotionally connected with him in a long time and really seen him for what he is. So this level of betrayal must have been very, very hurtful. So Judy resigns from the force. She acknowledges this is out of control and she did wrong.
Come on.
Judy has a lot of integrity. She goes back to her parents' farm.
Jude? Jude the dude? Remember that one? How we doing?
I'm fine.
Right on time.
Thanks, Gideon. Good baked stuff. Is that his business name?
Yep, it sure is. We work with him now.
He's our partner, and we never would have considered it had you not opened our minds.
That's right.
Oh.
That's really cool, you guys.
All right. I love the way that they took that moment to acknowledge it in the script, where she says, that's really cool, you guys.
I behaved in my youth. I had a lot of self-doubt, and it manifested itself in the form of unchecked rage and aggression. I was a major jerk.
You can tell he went to therapy. But good for him. Gideon here is providing a template for, okay, this is, if I'm given the chance, how to offer that apology. I also like how Gideon's hair stayed the same ever since he was a kid. Oh, Gideon. I find it very interesting that this conspiracy is uncovered thanks to Judy's parents. Judy's parents, who at the beginning carried a lot of open bias, they were explicitly speciesist, racist against predators, openly. They're stating this very openly. And yet in the background behind Judy, while she's doing all of this other stuff, they're dealing with their own little biases. And then they end up working with somebody that they used to consider as an enemy, as predator.
But predators shouldn't suffer because of my mistakes. I have to fix this.
Oh, I like the
But I can't do it without you.
animated sheen on her eye, holding back those tears.
And after we're done, you can hate me. And that'll be fine. Because I was a horrible friend. And I hurt you.
Oh, that one tear. Jennifer Goodwin's acting is so great.
You were right all along.
And you can see Nick, this is how he knew, like, it really hurt him because he had built up trust between them and he still held on to that pen because he missed her.
Carrots. I'll let you erase it in 48 hours.
This is a nice bit of symbolism too. Her apology is done in the dark, but when he forgives her, she steps out into the light.
You're so emotional.
Police! There's a savage fox in the Natural History Museum. Officer Hopps is down.
Her choice of words, a savage fox. She's playing on those fears.
He can't help it, can he?
You notice here that the other savage animals, their eyes go dark, but Nick's do not. That's just a little hint to show that he hasn't really gone savage.
The headline. Fear always works.
It's an interesting choice to make the villain a sheep, however, which is stereotypically considered the least dangerous of animals, just easy followers and they're not vicious whatsoever. But it goes to show that even the nicest looking people can also carry some villainy in their heart. Fear has always been a long-standing manipulation factor when it comes to undermining relationships, basing it on fear or using fear, subconscious fears, to snatch power and to break apart bureaucracy and systems and all of that. Just look through history. You'll see it many times. So it's quite dark to have this happening in this film.
So no matter what type of animal you are, from the biggest elephant to our first fox,
Nick.
I implore you, try to make the world a better place. Look inside
Nicholas
yourself
P.
and
Wilde. What does the P
recognize
stand
that
for?
Change starts
Peter?
with you. It starts with all of us.
Michael Giacchino doing the most with his music. Wow, that emotional swell. Beautiful. This is just a great monologue. It wraps it all up. Judy has grown a lot, not only in experiencing bias against herself and proving them wrong and stepping up into her position as a cop, but also encountering her own implicit biases that she carried against Nick, against other predators. And I really love how by bridging that divide of her biases, she's also able to uplift Nick and to let Nick have a chance to prove, hey, I'm also bigger than whatever your stereotypes are. You're not going to be perfect. I'm not going to get it right every time, but we have to try. That's the only way that we're going to be able to overcome these biases that we carry, to be able to appreciate our diversity, our cultural differences, and to see each other for who we truly are. Thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this video, watch my analysis on Ratatouille next. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.